Hi, you guys. The more often we help animals, the more often we get calls about such issues. Therefore, it is not surprising that a friend called and said that a rabbit had climbed into his cottage and he didn't know what to do with it. And indeed, when we arrived at his place, we found no such small, fluffy animal on the plot. It had climbed into a thicket of carrots and gradually began to use it at his discretion. Which, by the way, the owner of the cottage fundamentally disagreed with. Most likely, this is a pet rabbit that escaped from the aviary, and it will definitely not survive on its own, so no, of course, it'll starve to death in the summer. But it'll be suffering from sort of stray dogs or get some sort of a sickness, and domestic rabbits are very sensitive to various diseases, and this one apparently is totally domestic. After interviewing the nearest neighbors on the subject of our rabbit's flight, it was decided to take him to the hangar for a while, since nobody could answer whose one it was. The uninvited guest was escorted from the cottage by all the inhabitants. Even the local cat came out to say goodbye to the rabbit, and the owner treated the fluffy little buddy with a bunch of fresh carrots. Upon arrival, Misha and Jesse immediately ran to meet the new guests, but we will introduce them later. First of all, we gave the rabbit a drink, but he proudly refused, although it is clear that he's very hot. Well, anyway, such a move for a rabbit who has lived in a small aviary his whole life is stressful. So let's leave him alone for now. In order to show how huge this rabbit is, we asked our friend to give us a decorative rabbit for filming. This is a Lop-eared Ram. Now, you heard that right, the rabbit breed is really called the Lop-eared Ram, and his name is Martin. Now let's try to carefully get him out of the cage. Oh, just look how nervous he is. We'll have to take off the top part, otherwise he will hurt himself doing something else. Just look at how cute it practically fits in your hand. And now I'm back to our found rabbit. Not without Google, of course, but we also identified this breed. This is a gray giant rabbit. And really just look at what sort of a giant he is. It occupies the entire width of the table, and apparently it's a female. It has impressive front incisors as well. You need to be very careful with this girl because if she bites, it will not seem enough. And she is also much calmer than a small rabbit, as they put it, and just lies there. For clarity, let's look at both animals side by side. The difference is enormous. The rabbit probably perceives the small rabbit as a cub, although it's already an adult. I wonder what the difference is in the weight categories of the rabbits. Martin weighs in at 6 kilograms. He is very light, although he is small, but he still seems to be pretty angry. Little girl. The average weight of the gray giant breed is 6 kilograms. Our girl pulled on as much as 7,400. Apparently, she had a very good appetite. The funniest part of the body of rabbits is the ears. Ears are the main weapon of a rabbit. Since running is the only way for a rabbit to escape, then long ears, and therefore good hearing, are a vital necessity for it. The length of Martin's ears is 10 centimeters, and the Big King has 17 centimeters. This is despite the fact that the length of the body is about 65 centimeters, that is, in proportion to the ears to the body, are 25% of the length. Imagine how you would look if you had such ears. Probably something like this. In addition, the rabbit's ears contain many blood vessels that act as an air conditioner in the summer. The vessels expand, the blood cools, and the heater in winter, the vessels narrow, the blood flows from the ears to other organs. That is, the rabbit's ears are thermoregulators of his body. Thus, while running, the rabbit's body does not overheat, so it does not get tired. It is easier for him to run away from its enemies. And I think it would be best to measure the temperature of the king just through the ears. Martin has 38 degrees Celsius, and the big rabbit has exactly the same. In the summer season, this is a normal temperature for the rabbit, which means they are completely healthy. In addition, rabbits have powerful hind legs and rather impressive claws. Of course, this is already a weapon of the last resort. The rabbit will run away, first of all, but this does not negate the fact that it can seriously injure you if you did not take it carefully. There is an opinion that rabbits should be taken by the ears, so this is absolutely unacceptable. The rabbit should be taken by the skin and the withers area with one hand and supported from below with the other hand. So the rabbit will be comfortable and safe for you. Now we will try to demonstrate how strong the impact of the hind legs of a large adult rabbit can be. Let's lift the rabbit so that it hits the box with its hind legs. Yes, if such a blow fell on a person, then it would definitely not be very pleasant for him. Of course, the blow turned out to be casual, but nevertheless, in one place the rabbit punched through the box. It is clear that the rabbit is already tired of such close attention, and we decided to go for a walk with him outside. They even got a cat harness for him. We hope the rabbit will fit into it. Once in such a huge free space, the rabbit immediately got a little bit confused, but after a few minutes, he already started running around the field like a madman. However, the crawl was not enough for a long time. And this is not surprising. Most likely, such an animal spent most of its life in a small aviary with almost no movement. We took a walk, and now it is time to eat. We've never really had rabbits before, and we don't know what they like the most. So we will offer a choice of different foods, grains, carrots, and fruits. In general, there will be plenty for him to choose from. It seems strange that they should have been hungry by now, but nevertheless, the rabbits refused to eat anything at all. Martin just tasted the straw a little bit, and that's it. A little later, it became clear why the rabbits did not eat. We got a little bit distracted and lost sight of the big rabbit, and in the meantime, he found food supplies in the bag and began to crumble carrots. I think the thing is that the rabbits didn't want to eat in bright studio lighting. It's unusual for them. But having climbed into the corner, the big rabbit began to nibble fresh carrots with pleasure. Misha has been trying to break into our hangar since the very beginning of the guest's arrival and see what kind of new inhabitants have appeared here. Well, let's satisfy his curiosity. Misha very carefully began to examine the rabbit, and it is clear that he is interested, but at the same time, he's kind of afraid of unknown animals. Before shooting this episode, we were very worried about the rabbits so as not to frighten them with the sight of a healthy dog. But apparently Misha is even more afraid of them. Over time, Misha got used to the crawl and began to study it closer. The rabbit, for his part, also began to show interest. It is clear that it is not afraid of the dog at all. Well, we hope that over time they will become friends. You guys do not forget to come up with a nickname for the rabbit. And that's it for now. Bye-bye.